People have fear of rejection all the time. From a girlfriend, they're afraid to be rejected. From a boyfriend, from a job, from friends. Into a club, we go there, we don't dress up nice, we don't look good, we're afraid we're going to be rejected. You walk in there, 1 ounce of fat, they go, look at the fat girl. You go, oh, geez. Right? We always have that fear. Everywhere we go, we have fear of rejection. We go for our driving test. Oh, God, am I going to fail? But in Malaysia, there's foolproof ways to win. I didn't do it. I passed the honest way. I worked for it. Okay, anyways, so my point is fear of rejection. That I'm not qualified to get teachings. I'm not qualified to get bigger teachings. I'm not qualified to practice. I'm not a good person inside. You see, and some people, it's very, very, very detrimental, and they really waste their time. And they waste the people's love on them, around them. How do they waste it? Because they constantly feel they're not good enough. And they're not worthy of improving. And they believe that. They always believe they're not worthy of improving. That they can't improve. They believe that. It's the opposite of self-confidence, but it's a negative type. It's not humility. It's a detrimental. It's almost ego covering. It's actually something that they do in order to avoid becoming better. Because their habits are very hard to change. So it's another mind game. And we have all these baggages. We have all these baggages. So we know that we're temperamental. We know that if the hotel is not nice, we can't take it. We know that if people don't say nice things about us, we can't take it. We know that if we are not the center of attention at a party, we can't take it. We know that if we don't have enough knowledge, they're going to look down on us. Maybe the way we dress, our financial background, our look, our appearance, our background, or whatever. We have this fear. We have all this fear, and we have all this baggage. So when we go into a Dharma center, we go into a Dharma community, and people actually tell us how to remove that fear, it's very painful. It's like therapy. Why is it very painful? Because it makes you face something that you have fear of. And then the perennial saying is, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. So therefore, what happens? We have all this fear, we have all these projections, we project it to our teacher. So the minute the teacher looks at another person and gives them a gift, they say, well, why didn't I get a gift? Well, how come aren't I good enough? Oh, it's always been like that. I was the third child, I was the middle child. Oh, in school they didn't pay attention to me. And then all these projections come out onto one event. So when the teacher gives them that gift, they say, why? So if someone doesn't invite us to a party, someone doesn't invite us to a get-together, we get very upset. We get very, very, all these fears come out. And we try to practice compassion and bodhicitta, but we can't because we haven't really attempted. And so all these fears come out. Look, I haven't been invited again. I'm not welcomed. I'm not respected. I'm not loved. But then on a deeper level, we think, but what did I do in my life to be respected? We know that. I didn't do anything. Yeah, I want it. So when people didn't invite me to something, I get very upset and unhappy. Why? Why? Because we feel that we're not worth something. But you see, that's not them. That's us. And all this anger comes out, all this fighting. All this anger and fighting comes out, and all this frustration come out. Why? Because we have all this fear that we've been holding. Tremendous fear. Then if someone tells us, oh my God, you know what? You're aging. We have tremendous fear. Because maybe in our life we used our beauty to attract other people or to get attention. And because we used our beauty, we didn't develop our mind. We didn't develop our personality. We didn't develop compassion and kindness. We didn't develop higher qualities that are necessary in a human being. So therefore, we put in a lot of effort to make ourselves look beautiful, wear the great clothes, have everything fabulous around us. And when we walk in, we want everybody to recognize us. We have a title, we have a name, we have clothes, we have great hair, we have everything great. And then this bum walks in, who just walked in from the Sahara Desert, doesn't have any money, took a rotten taxi here, smells, and has no hair, and we all respect this person. Because they're kind and they're compassionate, because they took years to develop this. So then we get frustrated. We get angry. We walk out. Oh, you know what? No one looked at me. No one gave me attention. I'm getting out of here. I'm somebody, you know. I'm somebody. That's why I got a title. That's why I got a name. That's why I got a car. That's why I got a house. That's why I'm beautiful. And I put all this effort into making myself beautiful and fabulous and wonderful and just great. And yet you still reject me. And the reason I do all that is because I wanted you to accept me. That my whole life I wanted people to accept me. But people don't accept me. And therefore, I have to have big cars, and big hair, and big clothes, and big title, and big suits, and big businesses, and big names, and big PhD holders, so that you will respect me. Because I know, deep down inside, I didn't do anything with my life to be really respected. And every time I go to a party, and people don't look at me, and they don't compliment how young I look, or how nice my hair looks, or how rich or fabulous I am, I get hurt. And I don't want to be involved and participate. Why? Because they're hitting on something very sensitive. But you see, when we go to Dharma, that's what we need to do. Instead of running away from that sensitive pain, we have to approach it. Why? How far can we cover it? How much can we cover? How much? So we have to think very carefully. And on top of that, you have to think very carefully. We know that maybe we lied. So or maybe we know that what we say is not accurate. Or we know that our speech is not pleasant. Or we know that we use our speech in unpleasant ways in the past. So therefore we find less and less people listening to us. We find less and less people listening to our speech. So what we do is we repeat ourselves. We make our voice louder. We talk. We don't have punctuation between sentences. It goes continuously on. Why? So we don't feel the pain of rejection. That someone won't shut us up and tell us to keep quiet. Because deep down inside, we know we didn't do anything to earn anyone and even our own respect. So therefore, we know our own qualities inside. Therefore, some of us manifest this by anger. When we talk about something sensitive, we fight back. Some people, when we talk about something sensitive, they have body reactions. I'm not kidding, I've seen it. They scratch their hair, they scratch their bodies, they adjust their clothes, they look at something or they look away. Why? Because they know that deep down inside, they didn't put any effort into getting anyone's respect. So when you talk about something that they don't have, they look down, they scratch, they go this way. Why? They're not confident. So they hide more. Why do they scratch? Why do they look away? Why do they move things? Why do they fix their clothes? So you look at the scratching, you look at the clothes, you look at the books, you look at something else, so you won't look at them. Those people have never surrendered to the Guru, never surrendered to the Dharma. Why have they not surrendered to the Guru and Dharma? Because surrendering doesn't mean you live in the pain. Surrendering means the Dharma opens, the Guru opens that pain and lets you see and gives you the method that from that day on, from the pain, you work 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and you overcome the pain. How? The Dharma teaches you the method to overcome anger. So you won't be ashamed of your bad mouth in the future anymore. Because when we shout, talk, we're bad to people. The next day we feel shy. We feel embarrassed. We have to cover, we avoid. Why? Because of the way we acted. So the Dharma teaches us why we get angry, where the anger comes from, how to overcome the anger, how to apply to destroy that anger, so that instead of receiving more pain from more anger, we use the pain as a lesson. We use the pain as a lesson. So when our Dharma teachers tease us, and our Dharma teachers scold us, and our Dharma teachers tell us off, if we react back in anger, in pain, or quiet, or run away, or I don't want him anymore, that's the way we've been acting our whole life to avoid this pain. That's how we've been acting our whole life to avoid this pain. And this pain was not given to us by anyone. Why? It came from us. So therefore we run away from our gurus. Some of us fight with our gurus. Some of us reject our gurus. Some of us think negative thoughts and criticize the gurus. Why? Because the guru touched on something very sensitive in us. But listen, why did you hook up with the guru? Why? So you can go have tea? So you can talk about fashion? So you can go and do business with your guru? So you can take things from your guru? Why did you hook up with a guru? You hooked up with a guru to surrender to yourself. How do you surrender to yourself? The guru pinpoints to you what is creating your suffering and unhappiness, and then not only points it out, teases you, cajoles you, and points it out to you, but he also gives you the method on how to overcome it. That's the difference between a normal person scolding you and a guru scolding you. Therefore, it is said when a guru scolds you, it is like wrathful mantras. And those of us who fight with our gurus and reject and have negative thoughts, we have negative thoughts and reject everybody around us. So our guru is just another person to step on. Therefore, we don't surrender. When we want to run away from the guru, it's very deep already. You fight is not as bad. You're still there. But when you run away, the hope is lost. The hope is lost. So those of us who run away from the guru and teacher, they pretty much will suffer tremendously. Why will they suffer tremendously? Because the guru points to them what is creating their suffering, but they don't want to see and do something. So why would they not suffer anymore? Of course they will suffer. I'm not talking about suffering of hot and cold. I'm not talking about suffering of losing money or getting money. I'm not talking about suffering of cutting and stabbing. I'm not talking about the suffering of hunger and food. And I'm not talking about the suffering getting fat or skinny. I'm not talking about the suffering of bad weather. I'm not talking about those types of suffering. I'm talking about real suffering, the suffering of change. Not getting what we want. When we get what we want, we lose it. And when we have what we want, we know we will lose it. That is true suffering, the suffering of change. So therefore, a lot of people have guru issues. They have guru issues because they have the wrong idea of what a guru is. Wrong. And they also have wrong idea because they don't have enough knowledge. They didn't listen to the Dharma. They didn't make time for the Dharma. They didn't make effort for the Dharma. They didn't listen and think about it. So they have wrong ideas. So when we know we have fear, when we know that we have fear inside, we're protecting something. Some of us have anger. Some of us have done some naughty things in the past. Some of us are very jealous. Some of us have lied. Some of us have stolen. Many things. Some of us have cheated, or some of us, whatever we have, names and position, it wasn't acquired through hard work. We know that. We know that. You see, but the guru's job is not to point that out to you to hurt you. The guru's job is to point that out to you so that you don't hurt anymore. But if you fight back, if you retaliate back, if you run away, you have to expect more pain. I'll tell you why. Use your logic. Because before you met the guru, you already had that pain. Use your logic. Before you met your guru, you already had this pain. So the guru didn't create the pain. And if you run away from the guru, you're going to have the pain afterwards too. Why? Because the guru didn't give you the pain. So running away from the guru doesn't give you pain or take away pain. But in fact, when you run away or you don't meet your teacher, you hide the pain. So that no one knows you didn't make effort. No one knows you didn't push yourself. No one knows you didn't do something about yourself when you can. No one knows how many opportunities you have wasted. And people will see that. And you are afraid of that. Therefore, because you're afraid of that, certain things people talk about, you get angry. If they tease you, you get very angry. For someone tease you about one small thing can be anger 1, 2, 3, 4 years, or maybe really do a lot of negative things. Why? It's not what the person said. What they told you was true. And somebody knows, and you don't like that. And that's very sensitive. So if our friends tell us we don't listen, we fight. If our mother tells us we don't listen and fight. If our husband and wives and partners tell us and we don't listen and we fight. We have a history of fighting and not listening. Of course, when the guru tells us we're going to not listen, maybe fight, maybe run away, maybe avoid. Those who show negative action to their guru, who show a black face to their guru, who show bad body language to their guru, or reject their guru, or fight, or say negative things. It's not about the guru, you know. It's about themselves. Why is it about themselves? Because they don't want to find the guru inside of them. Why does rejecting the outer guru destroy the inner guru? I'll tell you why. Because the outer guru is just a messenger giving you a message. The guru is a messenger of Lord Buddha, giving you a message of someone who's become enlightened. Therefore, we respect the guru, we listen to the guru, we don't show negative actions, we don't fight back, and we never criticize, and we never talk about and debate and just joke about the guru. Why? Because we joke about ourselves. As Khyentse Rinpoche of Ganden Shatse mentioned, the great Khyentse Jampa Yishi Rinpoche, the great ex-abbot in the picture here, with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the great ex-abbot of Khyentse Jampa Yishi says, if we don't learn to respect, nothing will be respected. When nothing is respected, we reach a level of impervious. And that's very bad. That's very bad. So therefore, we're hiding our anger. We're hiding our lack of knowledge. We're hiding our lack of position and station. We're hiding our lack of respect. We're hiding our lack of wealth. Some of us are hiding from the source of our wealth. We hide many things. So when people talk about that, we fight back, we ignore, we scratch, we cover, we run away, we avoid, or we divert their attention to something else. Why? Because it hurts us.